What's up, y'all? Monique Melton here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Okay, so today we are talking about Juneteenth, y'all. Okay, and I want to share with you 9 ways to honor Juneteenth. But first, let me just say this: a lot of folks, aka non-Black folks, especially white folks, are expressing confusion, or maybe not, about is it okay to celebrate Juneteenth? And I want to give you a little analogy to help you understand how to recognize Juneteenth if you are non-Black, because Juneteenth is definitely a celebration and a holiday for Black folks. However, everyone can get in on the recognizing and the honoring of this day and participating in a way that is affirming and supportive to Black folks, okay? I want you to think about a birthday. So let's say it's your birthday, and this is especially true for folks who are Americans because different cultures celebrate birthdays differently. So I want to give the context of you are an American celebrating your birthday in America, okay? Usually, when you're celebrating your birthday, let's say you throw a party, people come, they bring you gifts, they recognize you, they center you, right? They ask you what you want before they even come with a gift. They're excited to be with you. They make the day all about you, but they're there. They are supporting, they're uplifting, they're honoring, they're recognizing, and they're letting you know they care. Okay. The same is true with Juneteenth. If you are a non-Black person and you're thinking, how do I honor this day? I'm going to give you some ways here, but I just want you to understand, generally speaking, this is absolutely a day for you to make sure you are centering Black folks, amplifying the work that Black folks are doing, supporting Black folks, intensifying your efforts that you're normally doing. And if you're normally doing nothing, then this would be the time to start doing something. Okay. But don't just opt out. Okay. So let's get to it. Let's talk about it. I'm going to share with you 9 non-performative ways to honor Juneteenth. Okay, before I get started, y'all, my makeup is popping. Do we see? Okay, let's do it. All right, number 1, learn the history and share it with others. Okay, take time to learn about Juneteenth, what it is, why it's important, and how there continues to be much work to do today. Number 2, pay reparations. Okay, reparations to Black people. Listen, we can get into a whole conversation about this, but that's not what we're about to do today or even tomorrow. But I absolutely agree with so many other Black folks who say reparations are owed by the state. Absolutely. And white folks pay reparations because y'all are benefiting from the unearned privileges and opportunities and access and wealth at the expense of Black folks, especially because of legalized chattel slavery. Okay, so pay reparations. Okay, there's no way to repay the full debt owed to Black folks because that would mean our ancestors would have never been enslaved. However, there remains a significant monetary debt owed to Black folks that remains unpaid. Something simple you can do today: redistribute that paid time off you're getting today to Black folks. Number 3, support local Black activists, organizations, and leaders who are doing the work in your community for liberation. Get involved in your local community. Donate money and or volunteer your time and resources, but resist the white saviorism, y'all, okay? And the sense of entitlement you have to lead, take over, or take up to space. Support your local community without centering yourself. I'm gonna say that again, without centering yourself. Number 4, call out the performative activism, the performative allyship within others, but also within yourself. All right? Don't just point the finger at those who are making a mockery of Juneteenth. Also look within and uncover how you too are engaging in or supporting performative activism. It's not enough to acknowledge this day, but instead we must do the work necessary for Black liberation. Number 5, buy from Black owned businesses and do your research, because sometimes a business will have all these different things that are pretty relevant and reflective of Black culture, but the actual owner of the business is as white as ever. Okay, so do your research and make sure that the business is actually owned by Black people and support those businesses. And let me say this as well: avoid using the discounts, the freebies, and things like that if you don't need it. Because a lot of times we put those types of things to try to generate sales, to try to generate interest, but that's going to be a less of a return, but it's better than nothing. So if you can afford it, and chances are you can, just skip the like discount or the reduced price or whatever the thing is, skip it, okay? And let me elaborate on this a little more. We don't need your pity, okay? We need support, consistent and ongoing support. So many Black owned businesses experienced a surge of sales during the pseudo white awakening, only, which is AKA summer of 2020, only to see a significant decline and fizzling out months later. Make a commitment to buying from Black owned businesses regularly. You could make a whole list of things that you use within a day. Everything from your skincare, hair care products, from the food in your fridge, the things that you're engaging with around your home, whatever it may be, and say, okay, I'm going to commit to replacing at least half of these things with a Black owned business. And then commit to that. Give it a try. Give it a try. Next one, actually commit to Black liberation work. Okay, y'all? Investing in ongoing education so that you can learn how to commit to anti-racism as a daily practice is only part of the recipe. If you're not actually putting all that education into practice, then who's benefiting? How is this going to be felt by Black folks? I ask this all the time. Is your work being felt by Black folks? And if you don't know the answer to that, or you're not sure, or if you say no, then it's time for you to actually put action into place that is going to be felt by Black folks in a very beneficial and sustainable and substantial way, okay? So saying you're committed to this work and actually being committed to this work are two very different things. If your work isn't felt by us, then it's not for us, period. Actually, commit to this work by learning, unlearning, and taking consistent action. Something you can do today is join the Pursue Black Liberation Challenge. The Pursue Black Liberation, okay? Join the challenge, y'all. It is such a practical way to learn how to take action with what you have and where you are that is felt by Black folks, and that is absolutely something I want to encourage each and every one of you to do. If you're 18 or older, make sure you get involved, because it is such a great way for you to build a daily practice of anti-racism. It's extremely accessible and so practical. And we have a new challenge that is incorporating Juneteenth and Pride. So y'all, get into it. Next one. Advocate for students in your local school district, whether you have children or not, to learn about things like Black history. Do y'all know that they are literally trying to legislate Black history out of the public school sector, private as well? Like, woo, baby, okay? So advocate for your students, the students in your community, to learn about Black history, to learn about anti-fatness, to learn about anti-trans, okay? We could have a whole conversation about what is happening, the targeting and the continued oppression that trans folks, especially trans kids, are enduring, that is making it literally dangerous for them to just simply exist as they are, okay? And so we have to advocate, whether you have children in the school system or not. If you live in the United States, you live in a school district and you're paying taxes, you need to make your voice heard, whether you're paying taxes or not. Maybe you're unemployed, maybe you retired, whatever. You live in a community that you can have your voice be heard. And it is so important that you advocate for students to learn about these things and make it known that we are not going to tolerate this oppression just being passed through legislation and making it seem like it's okay to literally legislate oppression against folks who are being marginalized. So this means advocating for students to learn about a number of things, like I mentioned, anti-trans, learning about gender, learning about sexuality, learning about sex education. Okay, so much. The education system needs to be decolonized, period. We won't get there overnight, but we must continue to fight to ensure that students have a decent chance of actually learning the truth. We know they're being taught a whitewashed history and curriculum, and there's much they will have to unlearn. But let's continue to fight against this. Don't just accept that this is just the way things have to be, because things can be better, but we have to do the work for it. Now, this next one, y'all might not be ready for, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. For Juneteenth, I'm challenging you. I'm challenging you. Demand that your employer implement anti-racism training and education in the workplace. I know my chair is loud, but that's important. That's important. Do you work at an organization that made a lot of promises during the pseudo white awakening, aka summer of 2020? And have those promises remained just promises? Advocate and demand that your company actually do the work. It's not enough to say that Black Lives Matter while the Black people at your company continue to be treated as though their lives don't matter. Last one, last one. And I already kind of alluded to this one, but I'm gonna mention it again because it needs to be said. Pay more for it. Say it with me. Pay more for it. One more time. Pay more for it. Pay more for it. Pay more for it. We could have a little song. Hey, pay more for it. Okay. If you're hiring Black folks for a project, pay us more for it. Period. Often Black folks are paid significantly less than white folks for the same or even more work, such as Black creators. We're often offered products in exchange for our labor. Meanwhile, our white counterparts are paid and are gifted those same products. We're asked to speak at organizations for a fraction of what white folks are paid, or even worse, we are asked to pay to speak at these events. The budget for diversity and inclusion is much less than any other line item. If you want to honor us and pay us more. All right, y'all. I done told you, I done gave you 9 things. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive list. There are many, many things, but this is a great way to start. I want to encourage you to pick at least 3 of these things to put into practice today and then build your way up and keep going, okay? In the comments, let us know where you're getting started. Be sure to invite and encourage other folks to join you in doing this work. It is so much more supportive and sustainable for you to do this work when you're doing it in community. And speaking of community, we invite you to join us in the Shine Bright School community, where you can learn and be in community with folks who are committing to doing this work from the inside out for our liberation, so that we can actually live in this world freely and fully in our humanity, y'all. It is a beautiful community, and we're inviting you to join us today. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for checking it out. And that's it for now. Until next time.